I love 3D printing as much as anybody else, but we've got a major problem in this industry, and it's not getting any better. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here and you want to have more honest conversations about this industry, make sure to leave a like and get subscribed. And hey, if you're here to hate me, go ahead. The comment section's right below. It actually does better for this video. Hell, dislike it if you want it. Still does better for this video. And we're not even gonna have a sponsor segue today because I really want this to be focused on dealing with what I think, outside of some of the waste issues that we have in this industry, the biggest issue that we have: the people. Fandoms will come, fandoms will go, and those that really ride that train, some of them become a little aggressive. They will make fun of others, degrade others, and even start making personal attacks. That's not okay. I've been at the center of some of this hate relatively recently, and while I can take it, I'm used to it, I've been in this industry for quite a lot longer than most of the people that are hating on me, I know newbies aren't as thick-skinned sometimes, and they'll get a really bad taste in their mouth. I remember the first time that I thought about building a Voron, so I said, let me go over to the Voron Discord. So they got one, let me go in there. I asked a few questions, I got yelled at, and then I was told to leave. So I did. When talking with some of the members of the Voron team at the East Coast Rep Rap Festival, they were very honest with me, saying, yeah, that probably did happen. This was a while ago, and I said, yeah, it was a couple of years back. They said, yeah, I was back before we cleaned up the mess that was our Discord and our user base. They owned up to it. They said that we've solved this problem and we would love to have you back. And while I haven't yet joined the Voron Discord because I'm not ready to go down that rabbit hole just yet, they're not the only ones that are plagued with this. It does not matter to me where you go, whether it is Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, any major social media site is going to have hate groups, fan groups, something in between. Within 30 minutes of me just typing in some of the people that I know have been a little bit more controversial than others in certain groups, I have found monumental amounts of hate. Comments like this: "This is not at all credible. Just another sensationalist YouTube dude trying to attract eyeballs and money. I regret to inform you, unnamed commenter, but if we were really trying to go for money, YouTube is probably not the way that we would do it. These videos pay not even close to covering their cost. A lot of us do it because we love it. And yes, eventually you can start making some semblance of a living on YouTube, but it requires a lot more work than people think. And being in the limelight means you're exposed to more of this criticism and hate at the same time. Recently, I did a video where I was live for quite a few hours and I was being very critical of a company that was not necessarily giving me a great experience either. And I had one particular user say, the 3D printer operator who cried wolf. Have a problem with your 3D printer or filament? Reach out to the company. If you're all airing minor and dubious grievances online, then the rest of us get desensitized and won't react if and when it's a real and actual problem. I was having a real one. That individual was then put in timeout for 10 minutes on our live chat and then decided to start rage tweeting at me. At 3D Musketeers is another
pusillanimous
Prussia supporting dilettante who has no defense for my words, calling out his bad faith behavior, so he bans me. I didn't ban this individual, I just timed them out for 10 minutes. What else would I expect someone to do when they've no rebuttal and lost the argument? Be a stand-up guy and admit they're wrong? No, I just deliberately timed this person out because they were spewing hate speech in my chat and I don't put up with that, and all of the mods were not available at that time. I'm not blaming the mods, I'm blaming the mods. And it got into a massive argument with this individual, and I'm gonna be blurring everything. And when I mean me, I really mean our editor, Andrew.
Thanks.
You make my life a little bit easier so I can make videos like this and feel a little bit more comfortable that the people that we're calling out might not really even see that they're being called out. But the groups themselves have a problem. When you have echo chambers that are, we're the best, we're the best, we're the best, and I don't care if you're Team Orange, Team Creality, Team Bamboo, Team Focus, Team Elegoo. I don't care what team you're on. Every single Facebook group that I've spent even a modicum of time in has had this same problem. We are all in this together. I don't care what printer brands you like. I don't care which ones you hate. You are entitled to your opinion. That doesn't mean you have to be a jerk about it. If we treat everybody with respect, honesty, and a general sense of caring, we as a community will grow and become more welcoming to bring others in. When people ask what you might think is a basic question, instead of calling them out and being a jerk about it, answer it for them, provide them with an area where they can do some research as well, and then move on. Or choose not to help. If we are not creating a welcoming community of people that are going to enjoy not just the one brand they like, but look beyond that, look at expanding what they're into, and look at learning more, that scares people off. The amount of comments that I've seen on my videos alone talking about how they've seen this kind of hate. Comments that I've deleted that are personally attacking me. It's not okay. I get that some of you all are incredibly passionate about your machines. I am too. I happen to like Prusa. They don't pay me. I wish they did, because I'd be making a lot more money than I am now. I like what I like. You like what you like. Does that make my opinion any better than yours? Yours any better than mine? No. They're opinions. And while I might have issues with some machines, you might have great experiences, that doesn't mean to come attack me, and it doesn't mean I'm going to attack you either. We have to recognize that if we don't start a discourse of open, engaging conversation with all people, you're going to see your community perish. The Voron community saw loads of people leaving because ultimately the hate wasn't working. And a lot of those same people that are hateful have found themselves on a new printer brand, whatever the new hotness might be, and are creating the same atmosphere over and over. If you are a 3D printer manufacturer and you happen to have groups that you yourselves moderate, I highly recommend that you take caution in the beginning to set up hardcore rules that limit the amount of BS that can go on in your groups, because it can quickly devolve into just hate upon hate upon hate, and a mob mentality that doesn't solve anything other than to upset people that might be looking from afar saying, I wonder if I want to spend money on this. Then they see the community and they're like, oh God, no, we don't want to talk to them. And I'm not going to sit here, call out any specific communities, because I think every single community is guilty of this. Even Prusa. There are a lot of fanboys out there for Prusa research that believe any other machine on the planet is absolute and utter dog water. It's not. There are plenty of machines that provide very valuable competition to Prusa. Some people might believe that there are machines that are better. Some believe that there aren't. You know what every single person doesn't like? When somebody else tries to shove their beliefs down their own throat. It's not fun. If we can look at a community and say, I just want to be a part of it. I want to learn about my machines. I want to learn about my slicers. I want to learn about modifications, should I choose to do them. And I would like to be a part and help foster a welcoming, understanding community that is in no way, shape, or form discriminatory, then you're doing it right. But if you're going to sit there up on your pedestal and say that you're better than everybody else and go in there and create an atmosphere that is toxic, you don't belong. I'm sorry. It is a huge problem that I've seen recently. And maybe it's because I've been targeted and it sucks, but yeah, you know, any press is good press for content creators at the end of the day. And people that say that we just create and fabricate problems for views, honestly, if that's what I was doing, I'd make way more interesting failures than what I've been having with some of my machines. I live in Florida. We'd have a lot more fun with this stuff, okay? Like, there's very few things that aren't legal here. I could go way overboard, but instead I choose to show things the way that it is. I believe I present valid concerns to a table that has unfortunately all but ignored me. While some of the staff members from certain companies have reached out and we're working on some solutions, some of the fans have gone as far as to post my address publicly in a Facebook group, which really rustled my jimmies, but if you don't remember, I live in Florida, so that one's on you. I was watching a stream last night with Nico Industries, Uncle Jesse, and Frankly Built, and they were talking for a little bit about the toxicity of Reddit. And I've been in the 3D printing Reddit for a while, and maybe it's because I don't really participate a lot anymore that I don't see it, but I'm sure that it exists. I'm sure that the same things exist in every community. I watch some of my favorite mods get pushed out of the Reddit community because somebody else said they needed to go, and the community disagreed. But it didn't matter because that person had seniority and was able to push them all out. People that were making legitimate moves to building a inclusive and welcoming community were cast astray and told to go find a different one. I'm not a fan of that. Now, I recognize that some communities have gotten their acts together, and some are actively trying. But when we have comments like this saying, "Dub clickbait titles to get views are pathetic. If I ever see that channel recommended, I will be setting it to don't recommend." Buddy, by all means, go ahead and do that, but you don't have to start this whole problem of an echo chamber that is people getting upset. I wouldn't buy one because a clown YouTuber said not to. I would probably buy 3 or 4, right? More for me, just another opinionated YouTuber. I'm sorry, we're opinionated. Every person is opinionated, but making fun of others like this is not okay. And you know, there are some good comments buried in here, like, good for him, he's absolutely correct. The service should be far better. I'm not saying it's a piece of junk, but it is a closed system like many retail products, and the company should focus more effort on after-sales support. And you know what? They are. This is a Bamboo comment thread from their Facebook group, and they are actively hiring to bring in more people. I called this months ago that this was going to be a problem, that Bamboo was going to find themselves in a situation where they were either going to have too many support issues or too many people, and they found themselves too many support issues, like a lot of companies that have exponential growth like they did. Prusa was the same way. Back in the early days, back before a lot of you even knew Prusa existed, their customer support wasn't great because they didn't have a big team. Now they have a team where they can afford 24/7 customer support. A lot of companies can't do that. And that's one of the main features and reasons why I buy from them. But I'll tell you, I've been playing with some Sovals recently and I've been enjoying the hell out of them. Does that mean I'm giving up Prusa? I'm gonna throw all the machines behind me away and replace them with SV06s? No! I believe a well-rounded diet, right? We have Prusa as our main course. We have some Soval for dessert. And if you're feeling a little randy, maybe you bring in some Bamboo and Elegoo just to top it all off. Having a well-balanced diet when it comes to machines, especially as a hobbyist, is valuable. And having a well-balanced round of opinions is also valuable. Hilariously, people even call it out. Toxic community for sure. And then, meh, I've seen it and been in worse. So because we've been in worse, let's not fix the one that's currently bad. No, look, you guys can choose to be part of the problem or choose to be part of the solution. I choose to be part of the solution. And while I am critical of companies, and I've been critical of Prusa, and if the XL launch doesn't go well, you're gonna see me be critical of them too. That doesn't mean I'm a hater. Me personally, I watch a lot of 3D printing content creators. I've been watching it less and less as I tend to make more content that way. I don't find myself influenced by their opinions. However, I find that I like watching multiple people's opinions after I filmed my videos to see where do I stand amongst a lot of the other creators. And hilariously, I match up with a lot of the people that I've respected for all of these years in this industry. Do your opinions align with those you respect in the industry? If they don't, that's okay. But if you're gonna take it out on those people, that's not okay. And it's certainly not okay to take it out on users. As a content creator, I can click hide user from channel, which means you will see your comments, but nobody else will, including me. So you can spout hate all you want, and it doesn't change anything for me. It's not gonna change anything for my viewers. And we're gonna create an atmosphere and a community that is inclusive. There have been quite a few people in the comments that have initially come on really strong, and I've responded with similar energy. And by the time we're done with a little back and forth, we've come to a really good agreement. People that are now like Patreon members and YouTube channel members, which I find kind of ironic, but also really curious because it shows that even though we have a difference of opinion, it doesn't mean that they hate me. It doesn't mean that I hate you. It doesn't mean that I hate anything that you're doing. I love when people challenge me. I love when people say, you know, I think you're wrong. I love when people say, I disagree with you and here's why. But if you just come in and say, your channel sucks, I'm unsubscribing. This isn't an airport. There's no reason to announce your departure. Just unsubscribe. I want to see a community that is inclusive, that looks at new users and says, Hey, come on under my wing. I got you, fam. That's why we started Print Fix Friday, was a way to help others get involved and get interested and become more active in a community that they want to be a part of, and not feel as though they're gonna get yelled at or made fun of, because I want people to understand that these mistakes happen to everybody. Heck, I get things wrong and people call me out in the comments. I'm gonna call out Baloo because Baloo is awesome and constantly will call me out on the things I get wrong. And you are awesome, sir, because you do it in a really, really great way. I always make sure that your comments are pinned when I can, because that is awesome to me, that someone is there basically checking me to do things like where Tom Sadlatterer is saying that he's not going to be looking at a company because he received hate on their videos, and someone says, wow, that's embarrassing. I mean, embarrassing for Thomas Sadlatterer. There are so many Chinese 3D printing vendors that give a shit what the community thinks and don't care about safety concerns. This company has always reacted and cared about the things that have been brought up to the community. No reason to do such a piss poor move. And there are people saying, please keep the comments constructive. That last line is not needed and part of the toxicity being described. Yeah. If you want to disagree with someone based on their own merits and say, you know, I disagree with you. Okay, cool. Hey, you know, actually I disagree with it. Here's where the company responded. But hey, you're entitled to your own opinion. Every time that we've made a video talking about bamboo, I've received a lot of hate. And this happens every time a new company comes out, right? When Voron was new, they had this problem. When Creality was new, they had this problem. Bamboo was new, they're having this problem. When Prusa was new, they had this problem. So why don't we start self-policing? We have people that are doing this, and I am so thankful. But it doesn't mean that we can just write it off and say, meh, it's fine. When someone says, meh, I survived the late 90s and early aughts chat rooms. What people call toxic today was child's play back then. And while you're technically not wrong, I mean, geez, just go spend some time in a Modern Warfare 2 lobby and see how many 12-year-olds say they had a wonderful time with your mother last night. That does not mean that what is going on is okay. And as a well-respected member of this community says, this is probably the wrong attitude. Harassment is harassment. Dismissing and allowing it is dangerous. Dismissing it because you think you've seen worse is even worse than that. 100% I agree. That's a hell of an opinion, and he put it in a way that is constructive. He said, this is the wrong attitude. A problem is a problem. Dismissing is not good, and dismissing it because you've seen worse is really exacerbating the problem and allowing the hate to continue. That is the perfect response to someone that says, I've seen worse. Well, what if you didn't? What if this is your first time in a community and this is what you see? Is that gonna make you feel good? Is that gonna make you get all the warm fuzzies that you wanna feel? No! You're gonna nope out of there so fast, we're gonna see dust coming off of your feet as you're running away. People look at content creators and expect us to be objective. And while we do our best, subjectivity is not just okay, it should be expected. We wanna present you guys the facts. We wanna provide our opinion. We wanna present further facts, provide an opinion, and then end the video. An individual here says, I used to watch his videos, but haven't felt he was remotely objective in his opinions for a long time. Objective and opinions are completely different things. Opinions by nature are subjective, and it's okay to have them. The problem with a YouTuber coming out with a statement like this is that it casts a shadow over the company he's complaining about, whether it's valid or not. And while that is accurate, I don't see many people, at least that I respect, coming out with statements like that don't have evidence to back it up and that aren't doing it just to stir a pot. If you do see someone being toxic, take a minute, step back, and think of a good way to respond to them that doesn't feed into the toxicity, but does a good job of calling it out objectively before you start typing rigorously. What I've always done when I'm upset, I'll write out my comment, I'll go take a break, 15, 20 minutes, clear my head, and then I'll come back to it and realize I was probably replying in the heat of the moment, and I should edit this way down, like we edit our videos. And the Patreon members get unedited cuts. They get to see a lot of things you guys don't. I really have been mulling over these past couple of months some of the hate that I've seen in this industry, and maybe some of it that I've unfortunately kind of caused. While I've brought light to issues, I've also done it in my own way, which is, well, to get emotional about it. because I am emotional. I know, a guy with emotions, crazy. We do our best to edit some of these rants down to a point where it is succinct, but still gives you guys the idea of what I'm feeling. Live streams, we don't edit, so you get to kind of see it raw. And I will tell you, after 4 hours of being live trying to fix something, my inhibitions are gone, and I'm just trying to get work done. And people hating in the comments and all that, you're just gonna set me off. That wasn't right. To kind of sum this up, I think we're all kind of guilty. Whether you think you're innocent or not, I think to some extent, every single one of us has somehow contributed to some level of toxicity in this industry. Does that make you a bad person? No, it doesn't. It makes you human. But if we can look back and say, man, I probably could have said that a little bit different. And you go back and you make an edit and you mark and state that this is my edit, then you're doing right about it. Making a mistake by posting something in jest or saying something in jest happens. But getting out there, getting in front of it and saying, you know, I was pissed at the time, I was wrong, and I'm sorry, it's a big deal. And if we as people can't learn to be humble and understand that we're not always gonna be right, then we're just as guilty as the person next to us. If we keep open minds in a conversation and move toward a path of understanding, we have a community that is like, yo, who wants to make cool stuff? Come on in and let's make cool stuff together. That's what I love about this industry. We make cool stuff together. And I want to start sharing some of that cool stuff with you guys. But this is one of those videos that I've wanted to make for a while. I've had some moments recently where I'm like lost for what video to make. And this one, when it came up, I was very passionate about it, so I wanted to make it. Will it resonate with our audience? I don't know. Will it resonate with you? If you've watched this far, it probably has. So leave a like if you haven't yet, and get subscribed if this is your kind of thing. And maybe this is the natural motion of this industry, the cyclical up and down nature that we see. But if we can act as compressors and literally move these waves closer to the middle and attenuate the noise, then we can allow people to see clearly when the rain is gone and be able to see all obstacles in my way. And I believe that together we can make this happen. It takes a conscious effort from everybody, including this cat. She has to learn to love too. I love this community and I don't want to see it die. But the fact that I have to start removing myself from certain communities because I'm literally being targeted for hate is getting a little old. And if you were in my shoes, you'd feel the same way too. I want you guys to comment below for me. What do you believe we can do to build a more inclusive and welcoming community? Because I want to work toward it. And whether that is we create our own subreddit or whatever it might be, or we look at presenting a set of rules that we can go to new companies and say, hey, this is a proven method that we know works. Here are moderators that can help you with your transition as you build your own. They can help train people. There's something to help with moderating problem people and just keeping in the ones that are good. But I'd love to know your thoughts because I know I'm not alone in this. And I know I'm not the only one that's seen these problems. I don't care what team you're on. We're all on team 3D printing and team making awesome. So let's make awesome by first helping the person next to you, whether that's the person above or below you in comments, or literally the thing next to you. I know a lot of you have it in you. I know a lot of you are already doing it. Quite frankly, if you made it this far, this video probably doesn't apply to you anyways. But hey, thanks for what you're doing. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one. We've got a major problem in this industry. And no, it is not just about how adorable this cat is. There's more to it. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video, and a massive thank you goes out to all of our Patreon and YouTube channel member supporters whose names are listed right next to me at the $5 tier and higher. Thank you all for your support in making videos like these possible. Ones that I don't think are going to perform very well, but I need to hear myself say. Right below me will be a couple of videos that our editor chooses because I'm fried from this, and I honestly don't know some good videos to send you guys to. So click them, enjoy them. I will see you all down in those comments and in the next one. Take care.